Hello, let us start with a new reading. We are going to start with September 2024 predictions. You can pick your pile so that we can proceed further with your reading. Okay, so this will be the first pile. I'm going to start with this reading. Okay, so as per this reading, I can see that there is a new beginning. There is a transformation in September 2024. It is it was a new beginning that you were not expecting. You were struggling a lot in your career. In terms of your career, you were putting your 100% efforts, but you were not able to get your expected results. Okay, it can be because there was a lot of competition in your current job, but I can see that in your current job there was a lot of office politics, and most of your time was wasted because of that. You were putting efforts but you were not getting recognition because of office politics, or because of your seniors taking credit for the things that you were doing, the efforts that you were doing. So in September 2024, uh, because you have already applied in various organizations, or you have given certain interviews, you have been trying hard for this job change, you will be getting a positive result and you will be getting an opportunity. There may be people who are going to in your family also, the people who are jealous, but who you consider as your well wishers. They are going to tell you that don't change your job right now, it is not the right time. Maybe you want to explore yourself in this job, and then you have to look for a better option. But still you are going to have faith in yourself, because I can see that this profile will be different from the current profile in which you are working, or maybe the responsibilities are more in this kind of job, or maybe you are not getting that much increment in this job position, but you will be getting authority, you will be getting responsibility, you will be getting your freedom to work, and you will be getting rewards for the efforts you are going to put in this job right from the first day. I can also see that here you are going to meet very good people. If you have not met good people in office, then in this job you are going to get very good people, and you are going to stay connected with those people for a very long period of time. They'll be your colleagues come friends, and they will be the one who are going to support you and motivate you in your ups and downs. You are going to get your friends, and you are going to enjoy the environment of the office in which you will be working, or the job in which you will be working right now. There are high chances of getting a promotion in upcoming months. If you are going to take this offer, take this new opportunity, there will be high chances that you will be appreciated and you will be promoted. You will be getting much more salary increment than you are expecting right now, because this opportunity will give you a lot of benefits, both in terms of money and non-monetary incentives as well. You are going to make good social connections, and you will be having you can even go on a vacation with your colleagues or your family members. When everything is peaceful and settled for you, you may plan out a vacation, you may take off some time from job, or you are going vacation from with your colleagues. It can be possible that you, in both cases, you are going on a vacation, either uh, for a dinner with colleagues and a vacation for family, or for a vacation with colleagues, uh, like you get a weekend, Saturday Sunday, and you are going with a on a vacation with your colleagues in your new job. Okay, because they want to know you more and they want to make you comfortable, so they have proposed this offer that you come to vacation. We should plan a vacation, and we should take a break and go out and enjoy ourselves. And other than that, you can also spend time with your family members, so you will be having a lot of work life balance. This I can also see in this kind of opportunity. In this job, you will be having right amount of time which you can spend with your family members. You will be not having any kind of stress or workload which you have to complete in off office hours. When you go home, you will be very free, because all the responsibilities, all the jobs, all the tension, all the task will be left in the office only. And even your laptop and everything, you have to leave in the office only, and then you are coming back. So you will be very much peaceful. There will be a lot of harmony inside your mind, inside your heart. You would be experiencing all kind of benefits that you always wanted from a job, and you'll be thanking God that you have got this kind of opportunity. There is also a chance that you may attend a family wedding at this in this month. You may get an invitation to attend a family wedding or a friend's wedding. It might be possible that when you join the new job, one of the colleague is going to get married in this month, and you will be invited to go and attend that wedding. And this wedding might not be in the city or place where you are right now. You may be required to travel for 1 day or 2 day to reach at the destination of the wedding. Okay, and it can be wedding in your family also. For that, you have to take leaves. So I am saying that you will be joining opportunity, and then some situations will arise. Due to that, you have to go on vacation with your colleagues. And maybe you are going to take your, or you will be allowed to take your family member as well. So you are spending time with your family members and colleagues, and you are having a very good social life. You are enjoying the benefits of the work life balance, and you'll be getting the opportunities. You will be getting even training. If you require any kind of training to enhance your skills, superiors will be very good towards you. They are going to always appreciate you, motivate you, and there are high chances that you are going to get promoted in this kind of opportunity. And this will be the organization that you will never want to leave, and this will be your dream job or dream project that you are going to take in September 2024, and you are going to enjoy both your professional and personal life in this month. Okay, so this month will be very exciting and very good for you. You will be very happy and satisfied in this month of September 2024. So this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. So let us move with the next reading. Okay, so as per this reading, I can see that in this month you are going to get a proposal from someone. Okay, it can be someone who is in your connection, but you don't expect that person to be in love with you. Okay, you were not expecting for this kind of proposal, and this person is very close to you. This person is a person with whom you are spending time on daily basis, and you are not aware about his or her feelings. At first you might be shocked that how I got a confession from this kind of person, from this person who is very close to my heart, and you don't want to break their heart at any cost, and you are trying very hard to um, think about this connection in this month, what decision you should take. Either you should accept that connection or reject. In terms of career, the person who is going to give the proposal, marriage proposal, is very well settled, and that person has spent a lot of time with you. You know each and every um phase of life of that person. You have shared your bad experiences, they have shared their bad experiences. Maybe they, you know each other family members as well, you have a good bonding with each other's family members as well, and I can see that maybe their family are going to give a marriage proposal to your family. So your families are going to give proposal to each other, and maybe you both are not even aware of it. You both get to know it from your family members, and then you are thinking about what we should do. Okay, because they see you as a good match, and you never thought of it. You always considered yourself and that person as a best friend. So this is the situation that may arise when you are going to analyze, and when you are going to think of either I should proceed with this option or I should wait, because you never saw this person as your lover. You were always seeing this person as your friend. Okay, and there is a conflict in your mind and that person's mind, that whether we should continue our friendship, or whether we should go ahead in as a couple, we should enter into a relationship and then we get married. Okay, because your families are ready, and you both don't want to disappoint your family members as well. So there can be confusion, but I think that you yourself know, and they also know the right answer, the right solution to the prayers, to the questions that are in your mind. Okay, you both know the answer. You both may even take a break from each other to get a perfect answer for either proceeding with this relation or not. I can see that one of you will be very positive regarding this connection, because you both share a bond, and it is you both know your strengths and weaknesses, and your families also like each other, so everything is going in your favor, and it may be God's direction, it may be God's decision. So one may accept it as God's decision, but other may be thinking very hard on whether or not to continue and take this ahead in terms of relationship, because in as a friend you are very compatible with each other, but you don't know what might happen if you are going to take the next step in this relationship. And it might be possible that uh, you both are taking a break from each other, going to vacation or doing your work and not contacting. No contact situation can be also possible in this month. You are not going to contact each other, and you are going to take your time to decide whether or not to continue with this relationship. Okay, and I can see that if you are going to think about your past, in your past when you were at your lowest, was that person available for you at that point of time? Okay, if that person was available for you and he was there to support you emotionally and financially, or even emotionally, then that person is worth spending time with. We get love very rarely. Love is rare to find, and the people who get love in their life are very lucky. Okay, so if you think that this person is your solid support system and you don't want to leave that person, you are very compatible as friends, and your families are also accepting this proposal, then you can take a chance. Okay, you can ask from God to give you directions, and you can take your time to decide whether or not to go in this relationship. But if things are positive, if there is no toxicity, and if you are feeling peaceful, even when you are not talking to each other, when you are spending time with each other, and you are feeling very good to be around this person, and you can not live without this person, if you cannot imagine your life without this person, then you should go and marry that person. You should accept the proposal of the person, because I am seeing that they will be clear that they want to marry you, but you will not be clear with your um, if you will not be clear whether it is the right age to take this step, whether you should marry your best friend or not. So you have to take advice. You can even take advice from your seniors, from the people who are older than you. They may from your parents. You can talk to your parents, and you can give it a chance. You can try, and if you have positive connection with this person, you can go ahead. If that person love you unconditionally, you can go ahead in this relationship, because we don't get always the people who love us unconditionally, and unconditional love is above everything. So you should think, you should even ask yourself whether you love this person or not, because sometimes there is love in between two people, but they are not uh, aware of that. They get so other people around them try to make that effort to let them know that yes, they are in love, and they don't know that they both are in love with each other. They can't live without each other. So are the people who are with us. God is doing all this, and they are giving signals to you in some way or another, through your relatives, through the person with whom you are going to marry. So I can guarantee you that this person is your future spouse. Okay. Okay, if you are going to take that step, if you are going to move ahead in this relationship, and if you are going to put efforts on a regular basis, then this will work out very well for you, and you will be very satisfied. You will be thanking God that yes, I took the positive decision. So it depends upon your hand. This person is very trustworthy, very loyal, and people like this are very rare to find nowadays. They love you unconditionally, you also love them, but maybe you are not aware of the fact that you love them. Okay, so I don't want that to happen, that you are not taking any efforts, and then later on you are realizing that I have lost someone who really loved me, and someone that I also loved, someone with whom I was also in love. Okay, so that is why you have to think very hard on this. You have to take advices. You have to look out at your past experiences with this person. You have to think, and you can even discuss with this person. You can uh, if one of them even confesses their feelings to another person, this may also work out, because if there will be clear communication in between you guys regarding your relationship, then it might work out for you as well. But if both of you are not confessing, and taking your time, and delaying, and not neglecting to spend time with each other, then this may create confusions, misunderstandings, and this relationship can even end. Okay, so it depends upon you both. If you want to take this ahead, you can, but if you are not taking this ahead, this person is very good friend, so don't lose them as a friend. Always be in their friend list, and be a very good well wisher and very good friend with this person. There you may not talk to each other on regular basis, or you may not be that close if you are going to end your relation, if you are not going to go in this direction. But being a good friend will also be good for both of you, because you both are each other's strength. And now on in future, you are going to realize, you both are going to realize that you both are made for each other. So whatever may be the case, at the end of the day, you are going to reunite, and you are going, after realizing that you both love each other, and you are going to marry each other, either in the present or in future. So you both have a very good future together. So think about it, and if you realize that you love this person, don't lose that person, because once a person we love is lost um, from our lives, it becomes very difficult to redevelop the feelings, and it becomes very difficult sometimes to correct the things that we did wrong, or which happened, which were, because these things can spoil the relations. So don't ever try to spoil, don't ever try to um, question yourselves regarding this relation. You can go ahead with this, and you can think what you want. If you want this relation, you can go ahead. If you want some time, you can ask some time, but don't break the bond that you have right now. That is the guidance that I can give you in September 2024. So let us move with the third reading. Okay, so as per this reading, I can see that in this month you are going to travel. There is a high chances that you are going to travel because of your work. You are going to travel uh, overseas. There are high chances that you are going to travel overseas or within your country, but you will be traveling to a place that you have never traveled to. It will be your first time traveling to a particular city, and there will be, I can see, a lot of nature around you. You might also plan a vacation. Okay, and you can be going to a vacation with your family members. It can be also possible, but in terms of career, you are going for a vacation, for to another city or another country for your work. And I can see that if you are going in terms of your career, if you are taking a if you are going to some other country, there are high chances that you will be getting time to complete your meeting or complete your work. And after that work is completed, you are going to try to you will be trying to complete that work within the deadline, and even before the deadline, so that you can explore that particular city or country. Okay, and I can see that you will be spending a lot of time near sea. It can be in beach, and you'll be enjoying nature. You'll be relieved with the nature and the natural beauty of the world you are going to see. You'll be posting stories of sunsets, sunrises, beaches. Okay, and people will even ask you, where are you right now, at which location you are, in which country or city you are, and you will be proudly telling them that I am here, and I am because of my work I was required to go to this place. And everything happened very fastly. I was not even aware that I have to go. So I have made plans at the end time. My company made plans at the end at a very at a time when I was not expecting that I'll be going to a certain place or city. And I got this opportunity unexpectedly. So you would be very happy, because you will be getting a break from everything. I can see that you have spent a lot of time working hard, and you wanted to take a break, but you were not getting any kind of holidays from your company or from the business that you are working right now, because you are the person who is at a top position in a company, or at you are the person who is managing your own business, and you have a lot of responsibilities. Okay, due to that you were not allowed to take a break, and you couldn't take a break. There are struggles that you have faced, but continuously you were focusing on building up your career. And there were enemies that you also faced in your current job or in your business. uh, there was a lot of competition, and but still you put all your efforts, you tried to develop your skills, you tried to become that the person who can manage a top position in a particular company. So you developed skills that were required to uh, make you capable of handling those job positions that are given to you right now. So you are enjoying, you can see, I can see you enjoying the city or country in which you'll be traveling this month. And when you'll be going back, then you may be purchasing gifts for your family members and colleagues, that I went to this place and I have got these gifts and these things for my near and dear ones. The people who are close to you will be very happy because of your success, because of the things that you have achieved. You was not getting time to acknowledge the things that you have achieved in your life, and this time that you will be getting out from work, you will be doing your work before deadline, and then you will be enjoying, you will be visiting the cities, or you'll be visiting the place as a tourist, where you have been, where you went for doing your job. So this time you are going to acknowledge and realize that I have done a lot for myself, and I've become capable for uh, handling responsibilities of myself and my family members. I'm financially capable, I am emotionally very capable to handle each and everything in my life right now. And regardless of all the struggles that I've faced, I was still able to manage and get rid of and get out of any kind of bad situation that I've faced in my past. Yours, the people who are your enemies, they can also get jealous of the things that you're posting online, because at this in this month you'll be posting your images, your photos, at the locations in which you will be spending time in this month. It can be overseas as well, due to which the people who are jealous of your success will be even more jealous, and they couldn't even do anything then liking, then still even they are jealous, they are going to show their appreciation towards you, and you'll be laughing while you'll be reading their comments and seeing them liking your things that you are posting online on your social media handles. And you'll be getting more salary this month because of the deals that you have done, because of the work that you have done for the business or the company in which you are right now. Okay, because of your even while you are traveling overseas, you are, or within your country, you are getting a high salary, you are getting a higher salary because of the international connections or international relations, or the extraordinary work that you have done for that business or that company. And your connections are going to, uh, the your communication, the way of connecting to people and making connections will benefit you in some way or another. So in this month you are going to enjoy your time while moving abroad or moving to a different place or different city that you have always dream of exploring. So you'll be exploring that place, exploring that city. You are going to, even you can even go in a concert, or at maybe the place that you'll be visiting, you may find a person who is playing music, and you'll wait and you will listen to the music, and you may even give some money to that person. Or you may be going to a particular concert where you'll be enjoying yourself. Okay, it may be that you may find a friend of yours who is also traveling in that particular location, and you might join that person, that friend, for a particular period of time, and you both will share your experiences, because you'll be connecting to this friend after a very long period of time. Maybe you were school friends, so you are going to discuss your experiences, what all you did in terms of your career, what happened in your personal lives. You're going to discuss with each other, and this will increase your bond of friendship. And you are going to post photos with that person, and many people are going to be jealous of you both reuniting. Okay, so this can be also possible, and you both would be at a very good state in terms of your money and finances right now. And you are going to enjoy that trip together. You may even try to extend your vacation, um, because you have done your work, and all the deals that you were required to do are done by your side. And maybe you are going to extend the time so that you can spend some more time with your close friend. And the place that you are going to visit in this month, you will be loving that place, and you will not want to leave that place so early. Okay, there will be different places that you may have not explored, and you may want to explore each and every place that is located near you. um, and so that is why you are going to spend more time in the city or country in which you will be going. Okay, I don't know if it is possible for you or not, but you will make an effort to spend more time to extend your vacation. You are going to request your company, or you are going to request the person who has you may request your company to extend some holidays. If you'll not be getting any holiday, you are going to come back. Otherwise, you'll be happy and you'll enjoy some more time over there with your best friend, because earlier you were spending time alone, and when your vacation, or when your traveling time was about to end, you met that person, and you want to spend some more time, because that person visits this place on a regular basis, and he is very much, or she is very much aware about the things that you are going to like, the things that you have not explored, the places you have not explored right now, and those places you are going to like. Okay, spending time with this person. So the main thing is you want to spend more time with this person, but in any of the case, you will be happy to reconnect with this person when you are going to go back home, because this person might be living at a place that is near to you. So you both will make a promise that you are going to meet each other on a regular basis when this trip gets ended. Okay, so this was your reading. I hope you liked it. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.